The Nintendo Switch is home to some amazing games. Super Mario Odyssey, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and many, many more fantastic gems. But sometimes you just want something new to play and you don't have a lot of cash to burn. Between PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, the Switch's online service is not only the cheapest, starting at $20 a year, or $50 with the expansion pass, but it holds many of the best classic games of all time, as well as a small history of how games have evolved over past several generations. From the original NES to the Nintendo 64, we combed through the library of available games and found some hidden gems we think you'll enjoy. No, they're not AAA games that change the landscape of gaming, but they are fun and will keep you wanting to play more once you get into them. With save states and rewind features, these classic games have never been more approachable than now. I'm Craig with Out of Control Games, and this is our list of top 10 hidden gems in the Nintendo Switch's online library. If you're looking for something different to play, Eliminator Boat Duel is it. This is a unique racing game that allows you to upgrade your boat as you win. The game starts out with a top-down isometric view, and then shifts to a behind-the-boat view at certain points on the track. When you start the race, you actually start head-to-head, and you have to go at the right time when the flag is flown down. You only race against one competitor at a time, but the tracks provide enough of a challenge just with these courses. This game brings back super off-road vibes. So if you're a fan of classic isometric view racers with an upgrade system, this game could be for you. The Special Cybernetic Attack Team, or... Nope, I'm not saying that. Is this vertical or horizontal shooter, one of the best shooters on the Nintendo Switch's online service. You have a variety of weapons you can collect, from your standard shot, laser, bombs, and my favorite, the wave beam. B button fires, however the A button locks and unlocks the position of drones that accompany you. This game's an absolute blast to play, and the rewind feature is a lifesaver, making this game even easier to attempt than ever before. Nightshade's a classic adventure game, where you're a Dick Tracy-like sleuth looking to take out the Egyptian-themed supervillain. Controls take a little bit to get used to, mostly because there's commands and prompts that are required to be entered. For new players, the select button brings up all your prompts, while A will examine and B goes straight to operate. If you go into combat, you'll enter a side-scrolling fighting minigame. If you're familiar with classic adventure titles like Monkey Island or the modern Thimbleweed Park, these games could be up your alley. Nightshade is definitely a classic that should be experienced if you're fans of these adventure games. Congo's Caper is a fun platformer where you play as Congo, a magical half-monkey who is looking to rescue his girlfriend and all his monkey friends. The button commands are simple: B and A jump, while X and Y attack your enemies. You can also use the shoulder buttons to dash, and makes the game feels more like Sonic the Hedgehog when you do so. You start off the game playing through the first 5 levels, and then the game opens up and allows you to select the next selection of levels Mega Man style. This game's very much the definition of a hidden gem, and worth your time playing. If you're a fan of side-scrolling platformers like Super Mario and Sonic, go ahead and give this game a try. Valis is probably a franchise many of us missed growing up in the 80s and 90s. This obscure series originally released on the PC Engine or Genesis Mega Drive, and the Super Nintendo Valis was the only entry on a Nintendo console until the Switch. You do not need to play 1 through 3 to have a great time. Super Valis 4 plays very well, and the story is light enough you don't need to know the backstory. Essentially, you're a schoolgirl with a magical sword named Valis. Anime fans can fill in the rest here. It's an action hack and slash with the fantastic sub-weapon systems you'd find like in Castlevania. B jumps, Y attacks, L and R cycle through your special weapons, and you select one with the X button. This game is great and provides plenty of challenges. Definitely worth a look into if you enjoy action platformers like ActRaiser or Castlevania. Quest for Camelot might be the best Zelda that's not Zelda on the online services library. This game loosely follows the original movie and plays much like the classic Legend of Zelda format. You earn your sword and shield as well as other items. One unique feature the game provides is a sword level up system that increases your damage and turns this into an action-adventure RPG of sorts. Enemies have hit points, and you'll find familiar items in gameplay like Link's Awakening. Actually, it's almost identical. Instead of an overworld, the game is divided into levels. Once you complete the task for each level, you'll move on. This game does start off slightly confusing and slow, but once you gain the sword and clear the first level, the game picks up its pace. While the game did receive negative reviews at launch, there is some variety here and worth checking out if you're a Zelda fan. While it's not the best Zelda clone, it's definitely worth playing. Alisia Dragoon is a unique platformer with shooter elements. As the titular character, you fire lightning at your enemies and can equip up to 4 different monsters, including an eagle, wyvern, spirit, and a dragon to assist you in combat. Each one of your companions has different strengths and can be leveled up as well. The dragon has a straightforward fire attack, the eagle has a spinning attack, and the sprite attacks enemies heads on, while the lizard or wyvern has a boomerang attack. Your main attack is a lightning strike that will need to be charged, but if you let it charge completely, it unleashes a devastating screen-clearing attack. Like many shooters, you can pick up power-ups and level up your health. This game is a great time and should be checked out if you're looking for a different kind of platformer. Sword of Vermillion is a classic RPG that changes perspectives depending on where you are. The story is simple. You're a prince that has to reclaim your title. Now go forth. Upon first impressions, you might feel like this game struggles with its identity. It's almost charming because of it. Towns are the original Dragon Quest style, a la walking on the overworld map, selecting various options depending on the action you're choosing. The world maps and dungeons, though, take a first-person dungeon crawling view, much like you'd find in Phantasy Star. Battles, though, quickly load into combat. They take very much like the early Ys series of games. Then boss fights go into a side-scrolling combat. While it's not until the second town you gain magic, the game does start a little slow. Also, this game can be a little forgiving. If you run out of HP, you'll respawn in the nearest town, just with all your money being donated to the church. I'll let you insert whatever religious joke you want here, but the thing to remember is that this is a very early RPG that takes about 15 hours to complete, sometimes less. So if you're looking at something that's very Phantasy Star meets Ys, then Sword of Vermillion might be worth a try. Kururin. Kururin? I don't know, it's just a mouthful to say, but the game actually is fun and full of lots of charm and appeal. If you're looking for a game that's short, pick up to play, and Kuri is that game. You play as a little animal who flies a helicopter, moving through unique level layouts. The goal is simply just to get to the end of the level and beat the record time. While this starts out simple, the challenge picks up quickly. You can use the B button to go faster, which is great for trying to get through the levels in time. You can also utilize springs to change the rotation of your blades during puzzles. You only get 3 hits before the level resets, and each time you touch the wall, time's added to your overall run. If you're looking for a different kind of puzzle game, this is definitely one that you should give a try. Winback was super innovative during its release on the Nintendo 64, and it still shows in its gameplay. While many people want to compare this game to Metal Gear Solid, it's actually not in some ways. You have a duck and cover system, much like in Gears of War or The Last of Us. And what's amazing about this game is that it uses a system of shooting mechanics you'd find in pre-remake Resident Evil 4. In Winback, you play as Jean-Luc Picard, Cougar, a member of Special Covert Actions Team. Dang it, not again. The story is absolutely absurd. Some parts GoldenEye with a Metal Gear Solid sci-fi twist. The game was ahead of its time. While holding R to shoot, you use the ZL button to crouch, and A will fire. On the right stick, left and right will move the camera, while up will change your weapon. While it may seem complicated, the controls are actually really intuitive and feel natural, especially if you're using a Pro controller, or if you're using a Nintendo 64 online model, or even better, a Brawler 64 or Tribute 64 controller. Whatever controller you're using, you will definitely want to use save states, especially since memory pack functionality is no longer available to save your game. Save states are the only way you can continue your progress. What other games do you think people should check out on the online service? We also hope that with the Switch 2, whenever that is, the service will just transfer over and we can keep playing these great games. Also, what hidden gem titles do you want to see added to the Switch Online service? Leave us a comment below. I'm Craig with Out of Control Games. Remember, life is out of control enough. Don't let your gaming be.